went to St. Rita's elementary and middle school, and I graduated in 1984.
I went to Palms Middle School and I am class of 97.
I went to St. Paul Catholic Middle School and I graduated in 1997.
I graduated from Bolshoi Junior High School back in 1994.
I went to Virgil Middle School and I graduated in 2005.
I attended Wilmington Middle School and I graduated in 2004.
I went to Brando Middle School and I graduated in 1999.
So for me in middle school, I think the biggest challenge was being feeling like I was, because I was, the only kid who was different than the other kids. So for me, I was the black kid and all of my other classmates were not black. But very few of those other groups, primarily white. And I only say that because it was fairly prevalent that a group of classmates would get around and tell these crazy jokes. And I'll never forget, they used to tell this one joke, with me in the circle. How do you stop 5 African American kids from jumping up and down in the bed? And this is back in the days when I had hair and we had afros. And they would say, you put Velcro on the ceiling. And then they'd all start laughing. And, it was a very uncomfortable position to be in. On the one hand, these were sometimes my teammates, if we were on a sport for our school, or classmates, and it didn't feel so good.
So in middle school, I was very small, which I technically still am, but I was very, I think, insecure with the fact that I was short and thin, and the fact that I think that was the time where obviously girls are, developing, and I was very kind of insecure about the way I looked.
In the bullying aspect, I could say I'm very fortunate that I wasn't bullied, but I witnessed a lot of my friends being victims of bullying. And in my era, one of the toughest things that we've experienced, gang activity was very high back then, and so many of these friends of mine, new friends too, that I met, they felt that the only solution to solve their bullying problems was to join those gangs, and many felt that by joining gangs, they have the protection of not being bullied. So they were good friends, but at the same time, I felt that there should have been a solution towards bullying and more activities for middle school students back then.
So one of the things that I personally went through middle school was bullying. So I got bullied for a number of things, including being a little bit heavier than the other kids, as well as being a lot more effeminate as the other boys. So a lot of the kids picked on me because I acted differently, and it was hard dealing with that for the 3 years, but I got through it just by continuing to study, knowing that this wasn't going to last, and constantly talking to my siblings about it.
My middle school was really small and everybody knew each other, and for the most part everybody was friends. But because it's middle school and for some reason you're at this age where everybody's insecure, and so my friends would make fun of me, and even though they were my friends, they would say mean things like, oh, because I had a unibrow really bad, and so they would always make fun of my unibrow. And it was playful, but it was still mean. It still hurt my feelings, and in a way that I dealt with that was then kind of by retaliating a little bit to people who weren't necessarily my friend, because it made me feel like I had a little bit of power even though looking back, it was just kind of like creating this cycle. But because I was insecure dealing with that, it was a way to defend myself and feel kind of like I was okay. So.
Well, one of the things that, I feel about middle school students today, versus, in my days, because now a lot of the students have so much support that they could go to. There's after-school programs in the communities, and they're everywhere. And the good thing about them is they're free, so cost won't be a problem, and they could join any after-school program that's out there.
If you keep growing, who you are today is not necessarily who you're going to be tomorrow, so long as you don't give up. So I'd say to continue to pursue your dreams. Go after it. Take steps to get there. Reach out to others who might be able to help you get there. Do the right thing and pursue. Don't be afraid to take steps and to make effort towards pursuing your dream, regardless of what other people tell you about your dreams, or regardless of how you feel about yourself in the moment.
I would tell them to not try to rush through their middle school years. I think it's okay to still be young and have fun and not try to pretend that you are someone you're not, or I guess also just knowing that these are the people that you may not forever be stuck with. I think it's also something that I remember in my mind, thinking like these are going to be my friends forever, and you're so loyal to them and you want to please them, and the reality is that there will be many more people in your life to meet.
For those that are still getting bullied, there's ways to solve a problem, such as you could go to an adult and just remain between them and just talk about who is bullying the person, and getting information, and not have to worry about that the adult might snitch, as that's what the biggest fears that they have is. They think that that they will tell who told them, but they could always remain anonymous, and there's ways to prevent it now, and just many of them are not taking advantage of that.
It really is not going to be like that forever. It's only 3 years of your life, and once high school hits, things are going to start changing. You're going to start learning how to do different things, and you'll make new friends. Definitely the friends that you have in middle school won't always be your friends, and that can be a good and bad thing. But if you're struggling right now and it's partially because of your friends, then don't worry about it so much. You'll meet new people, and if you have different things that you like, don't be afraid to shine on your own. Embrace who you are, no matter what.
I actually would say something that my mom told me when I was in middle school and high school, and it really helped me kind of hang in there when things felt so awful. And she said, this is this much of your life, Amelia. Like this, what you're living in right now is this much of your whole life. And even though it feels like it's so much, it's not. It's like a snippet in time. And even if it is the worst and it sucks so bad, it isn't some precursor to what you will be. It has nothing to do with who you are and what you are going to do with your life in the future. And so don't let it have power over you, because it's such a short moment in your whole life. Middle school is important because it's right before high school, which is before college, and you're still a kid, but you're kind of getting to the point where you're smart and you're starting to learn more about yourself, and so it's just fun. You can kind of just have a good time being a kid and not having the responsibilities.
Middle school is important because it's, that transition point. It's a 3-year transition phase from being a kid to being a teenager and repeatedly going on to do bigger things and better things. So middle school is the place where I feel it prepares you to learn how to do different things, become yourself, and again, embrace who you are and show everybody that this is who you are and that you love yourself for it.
Middle school is important because it's that stage where you kind of really get to know yourself a little better. You get to find out your strengths, your weaknesses, you get a little more independence, and develop some personality traits that you probably didn't realize you had.
Well, middle school is important because it's a preparation for high school. A lot of the skills that they learn in middle school is like a baby step, an important baby step that, for 3 years that they're there, they have the time to prepare themselves to get to, that goal, I guess. And as they get into high school, it becomes more of, this is what I remember, this is what I learned in middle school, and now, even though it will be more complicated, but because I learned it in middle school, I'm gonna get better in high school.
Middle school is important because I did some of my best daydreaming when I was in middle school. And interestingly enough, those daydreams that I would have in middle school ultimately became the dreams that I had later in high school, and I had lots of really great opportunities to pursue those dreams when I got to post-secondary education or college and future steps. And then, and I don't regret ever having those dreams. It made sense to me, and it gave me the energy and the drive to want to keep making myself the best sense of self that I could be. So my name is Tony Brown, and I'm the CEO and Executive Director of Heart of Los Angeles.
My name is Brittany Mejia, and I'm the Smart Start Elementary Director.
My name is Amelia Kanan, and I'm the Communications Director at Heart of Los Angeles.
My name is Ezequiel Rovira, and I am one of the tutors for HOLA.
My name is Miriam Gomez, and I am a Bridges instructor.
My name is Emmanuel Martinez, and I am the Bridges Middle School Coordinator.
My name is Sylvia Velasquez, and I am the Middle School Program Director. Oh, middle school. Middle school. Just do it!